Okay, so question 2. The Affordable Care Act created a marketplace for individuals to purchase healthcare plans. In 2014, the premiums for 27-year-old bronze level healthcare insurance given in the table below create a frequency distribution, a relative frequency distribution, and a cumulative frequency distribution using 5 classes. All right, so I've already got the data here entered into my calculator. You don't want to watch me do that. And I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to create a histogram of this, which is then going to organize all the information that I need into a visual, and then I can just turn that into the table, which is kind of funny because if you were doing this by hand without any technology, you would really do the table first to create the histogram. So, but since the directions just say create the table, we're going to do that. So I'm going to go to StatPlot, plot number 1, turn it on, go down here to histogram, pulling from the list that I have all my data entered in here. And so I'm going to go ahead and do the histogram, but I can't yet because I need to know how big the bins are going to be. How wide are the bars, right? Because we have 5 classes. So I need to do the range. So I'm going to go 286 minus 114. So this is a range of 172. So we're going to divide that by 5, and I get 34.4. So therefore, we're going to round that up to 35. So now when I go to my window, I'm going to start from 114, and I'm going to go up to past the maximum. I'll go up to maybe 300, but I'm going to go by, what was that, 35s? And then there's only 36 pieces of data, so going up to a maximum Y value of 20 should be fine. So I'm going to go graph. So there's my histogram, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars. So now I can make my table. So I'll get this out of the way. So here's my table. So here's my class. And so my first class is, we'll trace. My first class is from 114 to 149. My second class is from 149 to 184. My third class is to 184 to 219. My fourth class, 219 to 254. And my last one is 254 to 289. Okay, so there's my classes. And now I need my frequency. Well, the calculator tells me that. The last class is a frequency of 2, then 1, and is that 10? And 13, and 10 again. So there's my frequency. Then it said turn it into relative frequency. So here's relative frequency. So how many are there altogether? 10, 23, 33, 34, 35, 36. So we're just going to go 10 out of 36. So that's 27.7%. We'll round that up. We'll call that 0.28. And again, you could call that 28% if you wanted to, instead of as a decimal. And then this one will be 28% as well. And 13 out of 36 is 36%. And 1 out of 36 is 2.7%. We'll call that 3%. And then the last one is 2 out of 36, which is 5.5%. We'll call that 6%. So now I need cumulative frequency. So we can just add those percentages up. And again, we're going to get a little bit of round off error here. So now this is going to be cumulative frequency. So the first one is 28%. And then we just add those together. 28 plus 36. It's going to be 64%. And then plus 28% again is going to be 92%. And then plus 3 is 95. And then plus the 6 is 101. And we know that that's just a round off error. I would get much less round off error had I turned those into decimals out to the tenths place. Let's see, and then it wanted, oh, that's it. Frequency, relative frequency, and cumulative frequency. And there we go. And again, I think a suggestion here would be to take those out to at least one decimal place. So, you know, that's what? If I go back to that, 10 out of 36 is it's 27.7. So if I called that 27.7%, and then 13 out of 36 was 36.1, and then 28, let's see, so that's again 27.7, and then 3, so that's 1 out of 36 again, so that's 2.7, and then 6%, so 2 out of 36 was 5.5, 5.6. So this would be a better answer for that. I wouldn't mark you wrong if you put this, but this is better because now, if I call this the relative frequency, then when I go to the cumulative frequency, look how little round-off error I'm going to get, right? So this cumulative frequency is going to be 27.7 plus 36.1. That gets me 63.8, and then plus 27.7. That gets me 91.5, plus 2.7, so that gets me 94.2, and then plus 5.6, and that gets me 99.8. And again, we know that that's 100%, but again, just because of rounding. But notice here I was off by a whole percentage, and here I'm only off by 0.2%. So a little bit of round-off error there, but that's probably the better answer, but this is fine as well.